The jury system is a fundamental aspect of the legal process in many countries, designed to ensure that justice is not only administered by legal professionals, but also by ordinary citizens who reflect the values and standards of society. At its core, the jury system is meant to provide a fair trial by allowing a group of peers, selected from the community, to decide the facts of a case, ensuring that verdicts are not influenced by the biases or personal interests of any single individual or government official. This system is based on the principle that decisions affecting a person's life, liberty, or property should not be left solely to legal professionals or the state, but should involve the community in a meaningful way. In countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and others, the jury system is rooted in centuries of legal history, evolving from ancient practices where local communities played a direct role in determining guilt or innocence. Today, the role of the jury is typically confined to certain types of cases, primarily criminal trials, and, in some cases, civil trials, with each jurisdiction having specific rules regarding when and how a jury is used. In criminal cases, the jury's primary responsibility is to determine whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty of the charges brought against them, based on the evidence presented during the trial. In civil cases, the jury may be tasked with determining liability and the amount of damages to be awarded to the parties involved. The selection of jurors is usually a random process, designed to ensure that the jury represents a cross-section of the community, although potential jurors may be excused from service under certain conditions, such as having a conflict of interest or being unable to perform the duties due to illness or bias. The process of selecting a jury, known as voir dire, is a critical aspect of the system. During voir dire, potential jurors are questioned by both the prosecution and defense attorneys to determine if they can be fair and impartial. This questioning process helps to identify any biases or preconceived notions that could affect the juror's ability to objectively evaluate the evidence. In some jurisdictions, attorneys are allowed to challenge potential jurors, either for cause if they believe the juror cannot be impartial, or through peremptory challenges which allow attorneys to dismiss jurors without giving a reason, though these challenges are typically limited in number. Once the jury is selected, the trial begins, with each side presenting its case, including opening statements, witness testimony, cross-examinations, and closing arguments. The jury's role is to listen to the evidence presented during the trial and deliberate on the facts to reach a verdict. Jurors are typically instructed by the judge on the legal standards they must apply, such as the presumption of innocence in criminal cases and the burden of proof that rests with the prosecution. They are also advised on how to weigh the evidence, considering credibility, relevance, and the strength of the arguments made by both sides. In a criminal trial, the jury's verdict must usually be unanimous, meaning that all jurors must agree on the defendant's guilt or innocence. In some jurisdictions, however, a majority verdict may be allowed in certain cases. In civil trials, a unanimous decision may not be required, and a majority verdict can suffice, depending on local laws. Once the jury has deliberated and reached a verdict, they return to the courtroom, where the foreperson a juror selected to represent the group announces the decision. If the jury finds the defendant guilty, the judge then proceeds to sentencing, which may be influenced by various factors, including the severity of the crime, the defendant's prior criminal history, and other mitigating or aggravating circumstances. If the jury returns a verdict of not guilty, the defendant is acquitted, and the case is closed. The jury system is based on the principle of fairness, and as such, if a jury cannot reach a unanimous decision in a criminal trial, a hung jury may result, leading to a mistrial. In such cases, the prosecution may choose to retry the case before a new jury, or the charges may be dropped. Despite its long-standing tradition and widespread use, the jury system is not without criticism. One of the most common concerns is the potential for juror bias, as individuals may bring their personal prejudices or experiences into the deliberation process. While attorneys attempt to screen for bias during voir dire, it is impossible to guarantee that every juror is completely impartial. Another criticism is the risk of juror misunderstanding or confusion, especially in complex cases involving technical evidence or legal jargon that may be difficult for laypersons to fully grasp. Critics argue that this can lead to inconsistent or unjust verdicts, particularly when the jury is asked to make decisions based on evidence that requires specialized knowledge or expertise. Moreover, the jury system can be time-consuming and expensive. Jurors are often required to take time off from their regular jobs and personal lives, leading to disruptions for both individuals and businesses. The length of trials can also place a significant financial burden on the justice system, as they require extensive resources, including the costs associated with presenting evidence, paying legal fees, and compensating jurors. In some cases, jurors may experience stress or emotional strain, particularly when dealing with sensitive or traumatic subject matter, which can further complicate the process. Despite these challenges, the jury system has been defended as a cornerstone of democratic society. Advocates argue that the involvement of ordinary citizens in the legal process serves as a check on government power, ensuring that individuals are judged by a group that reflects the diversity of the community. The jury system also promotes transparency, as verdicts are reached through a public process that allows citizens to see firsthand how the justice system operates. This can increase public confidence in the legal system, as people are more likely to trust decisions made by a jury of their peers than by a single judge or government official. In some jurisdictions, reforms have been proposed or implemented to address the shortcomings of the jury system. These may include changes to the selection process to ensure a more diverse jury pool, as well as efforts to streamline the trial process and reduce the burden on jurors. For example, some jurisdictions have introduced alternative dispute resolution methods, such as mediation or arbitration, to resolve certain types of cases without the need for a jury trial. Others have explored the use of technology, such as video conferencing or online juror questionnaires, to make the jury process more efficient and accessible. The role of the jury in contemporary legal systems also faces challenges in the digital age, as the rise of social media and the increasing availability of information online can potentially influence jurors' perceptions of a case before they have even entered the courtroom. In an effort to mitigate this, judges often instruct jurors not to research the case or discuss it with others outside of deliberations. However, the spread of information through social media and news outlets can make it difficult to ensure that jurors remain unaffected by outside influences. This issue has prompted some legal experts to explore new ways of managing the jury process in an age where public opinion and media coverage can shape people's perceptions of legal matters. At the end, the jury system plays a vital role in ensuring that justice is both fair and transparent, allowing ordinary citizens to participate in the legal process and decide the outcomes of trials. While the system has its drawbacks, including the potential for bias, misunderstanding, and inefficiency, it remains a key component of many legal systems around the world. As society continues to evolve and new challenges emerge, the jury system will likely continue to adapt, balancing the need for fair trials with the demands of an increasingly complex and interconnected world. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful videos. Stay updated with the latest content on the legal system and beyond. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.